From fish dialogue to spooky frog, these are 5 horror games that'll make you not want to be alone tonight. Kind of.
Oh no! Whatever will I do?
I Forgot is by far the scariest game I've ever played, if you ignore every actually scary game ever made. The premise is simple. You're you, and this is a frog. Frog wants ingredients for his magic potion. There's a kiwi. That's the setup.
I think the game is trying to tell me something.
It's a walking sim, plain and simple, but it pulled me in with its cute visuals and the haunting question that plagued my soul. How can this possibly be scary? Short answer, the devs know how to use what they've got. Long answer, it's surprisingly well crafted. There are 3 endings: the fun ending, the funny ending, and the scary ending. The only real issue is that the game expects you to follow the rules the first time round. I didn't. Tell me to do something in a game, and I'll do literally anything else for as long as possible. So naturally, Chat and I justified our creative choices to the frog.
Oranges, right? Oranges start green, and then they turn orange. So, if it's not entirely ripe enough, clearly we're on the right path here. Don't worry, guys, I got this.
It's short, maybe 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how much you poke around. The scary part doesn't really put you in any danger though. Even when the monsters show up, you're never actually at risk. Honestly, that's fine. The tight corridors would have made chase mechanics frustrating anyway. Once you realize you can't die though, the tension fades. But the charm stays. There's some lore if you want to do the reading, but as I always say,
I was elected to lead, not to read.
For a spooky fix, I Forgot is short, silly, and doesn't overstay its welcome. The frog's great, the puns are strong, and the vibes are immaculate. A happy recommendation from me. Game 2. Pyscopomp. How do I explain Pyscopomp? And no, that's not a build-up. I genuinely don't know how to explain this game. Now, I don't like being overly negative. Every game has its audience. I'm the guy who enjoyed Star Wars Episode 9, not because it was good, but because I went in expecting nothing and came out entertained. So rather than call it bad, I'll say this. Pyscopomp wasn't for me. It didn't pull me in, I didn't finish it, and I probably never will. It feels like it's trying to say something profound. Maybe something about how when you chase the darkness, you start seeing the darkness everywhere, but it never landed. Maybe I just played it at the wrong time, but it didn't connect. The story is basically this. You build a device to read minds, but instead you start seeing the unseen side of reality. Turns out everyone else can already see it, and they've just been hiding it from you. So you wander around a school, a children's hospital, and a sewer. The holy trinity of horror game tourism. It's an isometric dungeon crawler. Not my favorite style. And your powers are see, speak, touch, and hammer. Hammer is obviously the best. The game doesn't tell you what it does, which made figuring it out way funnier than it should have been.
Okay. Can I just hit it with a hammer? Oh, that was... I mean, what girl? We didn't see a girl, right?
Main character monologues like he's auditioning for the role of philosophical villain number 3.
Doctors will always smile at you when you say when they say they cannot help you. Give them a copay and die. More is give them the copay and die. More as they tell you that you are full of can. Oh. Guys, I think I might have found a really depressing game.
It keeps insisting, this is the world, see it like this, without actually earning the message. Once again, this is all my own opinion. At one point, I read his dialogue out loud, and chat absolutely nailed the tone with this one comment.
Game feels like a 40-year-old edgelord. I'm using that as a quote once we get to the end of the game.
Down in the hospital basement, you meet 3 historical figures being fed their desires until they're bloated enough to ascend. I think it's supposed to be how power corrupts, or how the elite get to gorge themselves while the rest of us are forgotten, but it's kind of presented like philosophical soup. Everything's just there, it just doesn't blend together. Then you get to the school section where the education is brainwashing metaphor hits you square in the face. Not subtle, not fresh, just loud. I will remind you that I never actually completed the game, so I can't 100% say that what I'm saying is right or wrong. Maybe play it yourself, see how you feel about it. And if I'm getting the messages wrong, let me know. I will be very happy just to hear that this game really does pick up once you've done these 3 areas. I don't think it's bad, I just think it's trying too hard to be deep. The kawaii sewer monsters though, made no sense. Hey, cute's cute.
I'm touching the stick. You tried to touch the stalk thing, but it grabs your hand. You barely managed to pull your hand free at the last moment.
If I poke it again. It's got great reviews, so maybe it clicked for others. It just didn't for me.
I mean, look at that! Look at that and tell me that is not the face of sanity.
Game 3, Dreadtome. After Pyscopomp, I wanted something with a bit more energy, something that didn't take itself too seriously, and Dreadtome was exactly that. Enter a corrupt and hostile library with the task of extracting forbidden knowledge from its tomes. Triumph over the entities that linger within in this short action-adventure FPS made by a team of third-year university students. That's straight from the Steam page, and it's spot on. This isn't a full game. It's a tech demo, but it's a really damn good one. It's a first-person shooter that isn't scary, just satisfying. Fast, clean, and over before you want it to be. If I Forgot didn't overstay its welcome, Dreadtome did the exact opposite. It served a luxurious dinner, let you take one bite, and then ran off with the rest of the meal. You play as an investigator sent to figure out what has happened to the last team that entered this cursed library. My theory, they got too loud, the librarian snapped. You know how it goes. One shush too many and suddenly you've got demons. Then of course you take an elevator, because in horror we never learn. It plummets, crashes, and you wake up with a gun, but it's broken. Classic. Quick tangent here. Cliches in horror aren't bad, they just wear out fast. The first time an elevator drops, it's terrifying. The 10th time, it's just symbolic. And that's really the difference between corporate horror and indie horror. Big studios try to bottle fear and sell it twice. The fear doesn't work that way. Once you've felt it, it's gone. Indie horror hits harder because it has to find new ways to make you uncomfortable, not just reuse what's worked before. And anyway, back to Dreadtome. After the fall, your gun's broken, but conveniently you've got your superpowers. Why do we have superpowers? Well, the last guys didn't, and they vanished. So clearly the solution is send in the magic one. Great plan. Your power is hilariously overpowered. You can blast enemies into walls, send them flying across rooms. It's ridiculous in the best way. Later on, you get a gun too. Just one. But honestly, that's all you really need. Between the psychic blast and the firearm, combat feels tight and punchy. The enemies are simple but satisfying. The big brutes, the wall-crawling spiders straight out of Ocarina of Time, and the walking TNT barrels. It's a lovely mix of chaos that just works. A cacophony of blast bullets and bad decisions. That last one especially on those TNT guys. And then it ends. Just when you're really into it, it's over. My one complaint is that I wanted more. The pacing, the combat, everything, it just all clicks. The dev team clearly gets it. I hope they work together again someday to make something great. This is how Portal started, I believe. It might be short, but when a game nails the basics this well, that's all they need. Dreadtome isn't trying to reinvent horror. Honestly, it's not really trying to do horror at all. It's just trying to be fun, and it absolutely nails it. Speaking of games that do simple things well, Nightmare Kart. You ever play something so clearly made with love that you just want the devs to go all out with a full version? Yeah, that's this game.
I love this guy in front of me. I want to play as him.
Originally, it was Bloodborne Kart, a fan project meant to go alongside the Bloodborne PS1 demake, but Sony said no fun allowed, and sent a letter telling the dev to remove any trace of the Bloodborne IP, because clearly Sony's been so busy doing something with the Bloodborne series lately. Look, I get copyright law, but if a company sits on a franchise for 10 years, maybe just let someone else play with it? Personally, I'd make it a rule. 10 years of inactivity and the IP goes feral. Time Splitters, I'm looking at you.
As I've said before, it's not like Sony or anyone are doing anything with the IP. Oh God!
That's how we got Nightmare Kart. The story is basically still Bloodborne, just filed down enough to avoid lawyers.
Oh, it's a wheelchair. Hi, Herman. I own that. Oh my God. You know, I've seen a game that looks a lot like this before.
Let's talk gameplay instead. It's got everything a good kart race needs. Drifting, boosting, weapons, monsters, chaos, the works. Everything you do gives you boost energy. Drift, boost item. Hit a jump, boost item. I barely use them, but hey, speed is speed. Taking down monsters boosts your top speed, which adds to this great risk-reward layer. Do you focus on taking out your rivals or grind monsters to get faster? If the tortoise and the hare had gotten faster every time you squashed the hedgehog, that fable would have ended very differently. There's a battle mode too, and it is chaos.
Oh, this is such a good game. It is such a shame they'll probably never release a multiplayer for it.
2 teams, a ton of weapons scattered everywhere, and 10 minutes on the clock. What more could you ask for? The game has plenty of weapons with, shall we say, Bloodborne suggestions. You got melee weapons, rifles, health vials that steal health from your opponents. Oh yeah, everyone's got a health bar. My only gripe is that the loot pool eventually leans a bit too hard on the hunting rifle. There's even a 2-phase boss fight. And surprisingly, the first phase is harder than the second. It's the only time I actually lost. If it had online multiplayer, it'd be an instant classic. Even without it, it's a ton of fun. For a free kart racer, Nightmare Kart is pure joy. It could admittedly be harder. Game 5. How Fish is Made. How Fish is Made is a janky little jaunt through surrealist storytelling, now featuring a Katamari-like DLC. We're back in walking sim territory, or swimming, or flopping. Depends on how you look at it. I picked this one for 2 reasons. I missed being a fish in the game I Am Fish, and I recognized the dev from Mouthwashing, a game I liked even though it didn't hit me as hard as everyone said it would. This one though, it hit hard. It's kind of like a mirror image of Pyscopomp. Both try to deliver a message, where Pyscopomp preaches, How Fish is Made just talks. It's about following your path when everyone else insists that theirs is the only right one. Every creature you meet tells you which way to go, up or down, and they'll all try to convince you they're right. Some use power, some use logic, others guilt trip you with emotion, some might even try to put words in your mouth. I wanted to be clear that I think the Parasite song and dance is wonderful. I just wish someone had actually sung it. Even sung badly, it would have been infinitely more funny.
Do fish feel pain? Clearly not. They feel rhythm.
But the point is, at the end, you choose. Your path is yours. As someone who followed others only to get burnt out, then found peace doing things my own way, this hit deep. It's short and simple and surprisingly reflective. The endings make no sense, but maybe that's the point. One turns you into the flesh, the other into a fish sandwich. Symbolism? Maybe? Who knows? Either way, the journey there is what matters. Then there's the DLC, and it's weirdly brilliant. Imagine Katamari Damacy, but gross. You roll around picking up everything. Memories, regrets, mistakes, and the message lands. We are the sum of our part. Every embarrassment, every triumph, every bad day, they shape who we are. No person is made in a vacuum. There's a lot of people out there who would ask, if you could go back and change one thing, would you? And yeah, I've had my moments. Like the time I let one slip during a silent school assembly, loudest echo of my life. True Walrus lore. But would I change it? No, because it's part of what made me who I am. Everything we see, do, and experience shapes us. The good and the bad become the people we are now. To change one thing is to reject the person we are. For some, that might be something they want. For me, it's rejecting the person I am now. And I kind of like the person I am today. Do I believe assembly gas would change my life drastically? No. But it might. And that chance is something I wouldn't take.
Let us move, fish friends, to a brighter future! This future doesn't seem as bright as I thought it was going to.
And weirdly enough, that is the best analogy for this Katamari fish game. Both how fish is made and its DLC are short but very personal to me. The endings are nonsense, sure. Even the DLC had a nonsense ending. But the journey, fantastic. For a free game, it's absolutely worth it. Not for the gameplay, because there isn't much, but for the way it gets under your skin and makes you think. So that's 5 free horror games that you can grab on Steam right now. Which one was your favourite? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like, a subscribble, and tell me why I'm right, or more likely wrong. Catch you all next time. Sayo banana.